So you've been doing your meditations, you've been doing your affirmations, you've been writing them down, reading them every day, and you've been committed to it. But if you're not seeing results in your life as of yet, in this video, I'm going to go through some of the things that work as roadblocks from where you are to getting you where you want to be. The points that I'm going to go through in this video are things that I personally noticed that I was doing to myself that was blocking me from reaching the goals that I had for myself. I know sometimes that it can be difficult to see things clearly, especially you're in a fight or flight sort of mode and you are so focused on your environment that you don't see certain things that you may be doing, you may not be aware of. So I'm hoping by sharing things that I've noticed by observing myself and things that I was subconsciously doing that were blocking me from reaching my own goals are going to help you overcome some of the things that you may be experiencing in your life and help you reach whatever it is you want to do. Like I was saying before, you've been doing your meditations, you've been doing your affirmations, writing them down, closing your eyes, envisioning yourself as that person, as that life that you see yourself having, but you're not seeing results in your day-to-day life. These things that you're doing to help you become that person, to help you step into that life that you see yourself having, give you that feeling and that satisfaction in yourself to start creating the life that you want. After you do these things, what are you focusing on? If you're going back to old habits, if you're doing everything that you've been doing for many years every single day, you can't expect the change to appear in your life. Our subconscious mind is what is in the driver's seat for most part of our days. It's where our habits are, it's where our automatic reactions and thoughts are. And if we are not making that effort, when we notice that we go back to old habits, to step into our day with our conscious mind to make a conscious change with what we're doing that is a part of our subconscious mind, then we can fall back to old habits. And then it's hard to create that change because we're constantly falling back into those old habits. So we need to remind ourselves when we notice that we're falling back into old habits that we need to step back in charge with our conscious minds to start reminding ourselves of the state that we need to be in to start seeing the change in our external environment. And this constant reminder to ourselves to be conscious of what we're doing and that we're going back to old habits is what's going to create new habits. Let's say you like to work out, you like to look strong, you like to build muscle, you're doing endurance training, you're doing strength training, doing weights. That is a part of training our bodies to become stronger. You start looking stronger, you start feeling stronger, you are stronger physically, and think of becoming conscious of being unconscious as a workout. It's like a mind workout rather than a physical body workout. The more that we practice coming into consciousness to change our habits that we currently have, the easier it becomes for us to become conscious to start creating that change as well. So it's essentially a mind workout. You're training your mind to become conscious to create the change. Now, besides making conscious decision to stay in that state and focusing on that state, another part of this focus section that I want to talk about is what are you doing besides that? Are you, throughout your day, are you regularly going on social media and scrolling on social platforms? Now, this is especially something I want to touch on for short form content, not long form content, not educational long form content, but short form content specifically. Because when you're scrolling on social media and you're consuming lots of short form content, scroll after scroll, what this is doing is this is creating quick dopamine releases. That teaches your brain to want more of it. And when it comes time for you to focus on something that is more prolonged. Let's say you have to sit in a lecture for 2 hours, then you will have less attention span, you will have less focus, because what you have done is you have taught your brain to have less attention span scrolling on social media. Besides social media, besides scrolling through short form content, are you watching news and paying a lot of attention to what is happening negatively in your environment? Because whatever you focus on amplifies, and this can drain your energy that you're creating during your meditative state. The next point that I want to talk about is energy. Now, what you're doing during your meditative stage, during your reading your affirmations, doing your visualization techniques, whatever you're doing that is helpful to you to create that energy within yourself, to feel how it would be to be the person that you see yourself to be, to have the life that you want to have. You're creating a certain energy within yourself. Now, what are you doing after your meditative state to keep that energy within yourself? It's important to protect that field so that you can take actions to create change within your environment. So are you surrounding yourself with people that are influential, that have the same train of thought? Or are you surrounding yourself in a negative environment with negative people that are constantly stressed, that are angry, whatever it might be? The type of energy you surround yourself with is so important to keep the energy that you want to have as well. Now, if you're in a room with someone, let's say that you work somewhere and you have this co-worker that is very negative all the time, and they're just angry, they're always constantly complaining about something. What happens is our nervous systems unconsciously actually pick up on this energy, and that affects us. I know that we can't always control who we have around us, like a co-worker, if that's someone that we're working with all the time. But what we can control is the way that we feel and the way that we let it affect us. So when we are around situations or people that we don't want to be around in, and if that's something that is outside of our control at that time, like the co-worker example, yes, I know that this person is very negative. They're creating a very negative energy around me right now. But do you know what? Regardless, I'm not going to let that affect me. Anything that is outside of my control, any other person's attitude and behaviors is external to me, and I am not going to let that affect the way that I'm feeling, because I'm the one in charge of my emotions. I'm the one in charge of how I feel, and I'm going to keep my energy the way that I want to keep my energy. So it's a matter of making that conscious decision with your awareness not to let that affect you. Now, this last point is the most important. If you're not doing this, you're not going to see change in your environment. You're just not. It's not possible to see the change if you're not doing this. And that is action. Are you doing your visualization, your affirmations, and once you're done, you're done? That's it. Are you just waiting for things to come to you? Or are you taking action towards making those things come true? Because without action, you can't create change. This feeling that you have generated within you is your fuel for you to take action, working towards what it is that you want. And if you don't step into the driver's seat consciously and make that effort to take action, that fuel, unlike a car, that if you're not driving the car, the fuel doesn't go anyway, but with yourself, is going to run out. It's going to disappear. And once it disappears, then every day, you're constantly just going to be that person that does the affirmations, that does the meditations, that does the visualization techniques with no outcome. because you're not acting on it. When you step into the driver's seat, when you make conscious effort to take action, that fuel that you have generated is going to turn into fire. That's when it's going to fire, and you're going to start seeing the reality that you want in your physical life. You have to come into awareness and just start taking action. And I know, and this is one of the hardest things to do, and I know that this is one of the hardest things to do, because what often comes in the way, and I'm going to say often because I don't know about everybody, but I know about everyone that I've spoken to, what comes on the way is fear. Whether it's fear of failure, whether it's fear of being seen, and believe it or not, fear of success, because it's not what you're used to. Because another thing is our brains don't like us for us to take action that it's not used to doing, because our brain's primary function is to keep us safe, and whatever it's used to is where it wants to keep us. It doesn't want us to create change because it doesn't know what's going to come with the change. It's unpredictable. Our brains like the predictability, and because of this, we find it hard to take action. If we know this, then we can start taking action, knowing that, hey, this is what my brain is doing to me right now. It doesn't know what's going to come if I take action. That's why it doesn't want me to take action. But if I just push through and start taking action, then my brain is going to learn that whatever it is that I am afraid of is really not that scary after all. And as soon as you start taking action, despite feeling fearful, the fear starts becoming smaller and smaller. And when we're finding that we are stuck where we are, then what we can do is we can sit down. We can just start to observe our own thoughts to see what is that you're fearful of. What you can do, you can even write it down for yourself. And those times when you are running on your subconscious mind, you can purposely sit down, have a look at the note that you wrote for yourself and say, hey, I observed my thought. I know that this is why I am fearful, and this is why I'm not taking action. But that's just my brain's way of trying to keep me safe and stuck where I am. Then you can consciously make that decision not to do that and take action regardless. And when you do take the action, then you're going to see it's really not that scary after all. It was just your brain trying to keep you where you are. So keep that in mind. Keep it in mind that our brains don't like change because it likes predictability. It doesn't like the unknown. And if you take action regardless, that fear is going to be something that is slowly start diminishing. And then with action and consistent action is what you're going to create your dream into a reality. You have to become so aware and so in touch with what you want that you become obsessed with it and just take the action. It's going to be scary. It is scary. I'm not saying that it's not scary, but when you take the action, it's not scary after you've taken the action, because you are also, what you're doing is you are rewiring yourself a different way than what you have been conditioned to be. You're making certain neural pathways stronger within you to be a different person. I hope that this video has been helpful in some way to help you see whether anything that I've mentioned is something that is keeping you stuck and where you are, and to help you take action towards whatever it is that you see yourself to be doing. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on the next video.